Well, final decisions made. Leaving Parksville, heading for Victoria to catch the afternoon ferry. That should get us into Port Angeles about 4:30. From there, it's an hour or so riding to either the Edmonds Ferry or maybe a little bit longer to get to the Bainbridge Ferry, both of which get me back to Seattle, or at least close. More on that as we go along. Today is just a day of riding and a couple of ferries. So I'm going to mute the vibrations from the engine and just let the music play. Not much to say, just a nice ride and a beautiful day. Here at the Victoria Ferry Terminal, waiting for the Coho Ferry, or MV Coho, which is the ferry from Victoria to Port Angeles. And as you can see, there is no ferry here. I'm now legal. I have all the appropriate tags on my bike. I'm through customs and immigration. So at the other end I'll just be able to ride off and go get something to eat, because today has been not a great food day. Stopped at Timmy's, stopped at Starbucks, and that's been about it. Victoria Harbor. I've got these cute little taxi boats that go around, similar to what they have on False Creek in Vancouver. There's the Fairmont Empress. And dock reconstruction. That will be the fast ferry terminal for the boat from Seattle, whose old terminal is ready to be knocked down. Here come the little water taxis. Same basic design as the Aquabus and False Creek ferries in Vancouver. Little 15 horsepower diesel engine. And they just putt around all day. They also do ferry ballet on weekends. Our boat is arriving. This one's an interesting ferry. It's roll on, roll off, but it's more of an ocean going ferry. Not really ocean going, but it's designed for rougher water. So more shaped like a ship, loading at one end from the side and at the other end from the back. So they'll unload from the side door, then we will load back on through the side door. At Port Angeles, it docks with its stern up against the dock.
Okay, I know it well, thank you.
Shocked and tied in place. Gotta go upstairs. Not allowed to stay down here for the voyage. The new dock construction will replace this old terminal here, which is the Clipper Ferry terminal. That's the fast catamaran ferry from Seattle. It takes about 3 hours. It's a nice trip, but apparently that dock is non-compliant with pretty much anything from what I'm told, and needs to be knocked down. They'd also like to open up that section of waterfront. So they're building a new pier, and I understand they're going to move the customs facility into the base of the old harbor building, which I'll see if I can get a shot of from here. This is the old harbor front building here, and I believe that's where the customs facilities will go once they've finished the new pier. Which is under construction there. There goes a seaplane. Rounding the point out of Victoria. Coast Guard station's over there. There in the distance is Esquimalt, the Navy port. Those cranes are. And the Victoria suburbs. I'm on the upper sun deck again. Have my hat on firmly this time, although it's not terribly breezy up here. Made a command decision that arriving on the other side, I will ride to Bainbridge Island and catch the ferry from there to Seattle. So that's what I'll be doing. It's been a very nice, pleasant journey. Catch you when we're getting off the boat. Well, timing on that could not have been better. The ferry is just arriving, hasn't even started unloading yet. I think it's about to unload right now. And bikes load first in Washington, so I got to go all the way around. Half-hour ferry ride to Seattle. This is the classic view of Seattle. We'll get that from the ferry. Probably won't even leave the bike. See you on there.
Motorcycle!
Well, the bike has served me well. Enjoyed the trip on it. This front windshield is a bit of an experiment. I made a shorter version, and it's nice on the hot days at slower speeds when I want more air through the helmet. It's obviously worse on days like today where I was doing a lot of higher speed riding, and it was definitely worse the first day in the rain. So a bit of a hit or miss. Nothing's ever perfect. Cases are great. I added a new ram ball. I did a few shots from that side of the bike, I think on the second or third day. Let me know what you think of those. And we're now on Ferry Chimacum. Can see Seattle off in the distance. This is a quick 30-minute ferry, and it's timed perfectly today. So, how was the trip? Overall, the first day was too wet. Yesterday afternoon and this morning were too hot. But you can't do anything about the weather. Other than that, great time. I love Tofino. I love that area. I'm sure I would love it better in the off season. I did forget that this weekend is a holiday weekend in Canada, the August long weekend, which meant that today was one of the busiest travel days of the year and the busiest ferry day of the year. So glad I didn't decide to come back on the BC ferry. That might have been a wait. Also is part of the reason I couldn't get a room in Victoria tonight, but that's okay. I came back today and not really complaining about that. I would have just stayed the night, had dinner, and caught the first Coho Ferry in the morning instead. So better to get home in the evening. There's always somebody who leaves their car alarm on the ferry. But as I was saying before that rude interruption, there is a piece that I would have loved to do that didn't fit in. It could not have worked without a stay over in Victoria tonight, and that is riding around the bottom half of Vancouver Island. I'd like to do that at some point, but between not having good options for accommodations in Victoria and the fact that it was pretty hot on the interior of the island, I'm fine with not having done it this time. There'll be another trip. I'll be back on some of these ferries again. Right now, really happy I did the trip. happy to be home.